العلم أشراف مطلوب وطالبه لله أكرام من يمشي على قدمه. العلم نور مبين يستضيء به أهل السعادات والجهال في الظلم.
طيب, the Shaykh rahimahullah is going to mention firstly the meanings of huruf. The Usuliyun, they give it a lot of attention, and there's a whole bab on the ma'ani of the huruf, the meanings of huruf. Lakin the Shaykh rahimahullah is only going to mention here waw, fa, lam and ala. Okay? Each one of these has its own meaning. And the meanings, we're going to read the matan inshallah, lakin the meanings make a big difference. Carry on. Quickly, waw tufid mada al-atf. Waw, if you ever see waw, it shows in most cases that two things happen together. Muhammad, مثلا, دخل علي ومحمد. دخل علي ومحمد. Ali and Muhammad came in. Where's the waw? Here, right? What does this sentence mean? Muhammad and Ali entered. Who entered first? Who entered first? We don't know. Why don't we know? Look, why don't we know? Can't you see that Ali is first? Excellent. Waw does not show sequence. It does not show tartib. It shows atf. It shows that two things happen together. Muhammad and Ali came into the place at the same time. It doesn't show who was first. طيب. دخل علي فمحمد. دخل محمد. Muhammad entered. فمحمد. دخل علي فمحمد. Ali entered. فمحمد. The fact here, what does it show? Tartib. So the fact number one shows atf. It shows that they happened together, or they came in together, but it shows a ma'na, a different ma'na as well, which is a tartib, which is tartib, is understood. So now we know that Ali came in from Muhammad, then Muhammad came in, is understood. طيب. That, obviously, fa has a different meaning, we're going to see in a minute. Lam. Say lam has what? مثلا لام, one of the meanings هذا القلم لمحمد. هذا القلم, this qalam لمحمد, belongs to Muhammad. So one of the meanings of lam is that it belongs to something. Like على الجارة ولها معاني منها الوجوب. You can give me على showing wajibness. ولله على الناس. So this is the benefit of knowing the difference between the huruf, because a lot of the ahkam are connected to it. So the Shaykh says رحمه الله والحرف ما دل على معنى في غيره. So the harf is that which shows a ma'na on its own. It shows a ma'na on it. عفوا لا, الحرف ما دل على معنى في غيره. It shows a meaning in other than it. When it goes into another sentence, it has a meaning. طيب. Then the Shaykh says waw, and in fact, so he starts off with al-waw, rahimahullah ta'ala. He starts off with waw. والحروف كثيرة وحاجة الفقيه إلى معرفة دلالتها. نعم. The huruf are many, and it's important that the faqih and the usul, they know the difference between these words and these letters, because these letters carry a meaning when it comes to understanding the hadith or understanding the ayah. For example, tartib now. Last night we studied in the verse يا أيها الذين آمنوا إذا قمتم إلى الصلاة فاغسلوا وجوهكم وأيديكم. We saw that there's a waw and a waw and a waw. صح? Does that woe in the verse of Surah Al-Ma'idah in Wudu, Surah Al-Wudu, does it show that we have to do it in order? Just by looking at the woe. First and foremost, نعم تدل على مطلق الجمع. It just shows that things happen together. This happened دخل محمد وعلي. خرج محمد وعلي. It just shows they entered at the same time and they left at the same time. لكن it doesn't show ترتيب, that they came in together. لكن if we do find the hadith and we say we're going to do this first or that first, then it is not, then it is not because of the wall. مثلا Allah Jalla wa'ala, an example, إن الصفا والمروة من شعائر الله. Verily Safa and Marwa are from the sha'a'ir of Allah, the signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. طيب, where do we go to? What if I say to you here, in the Safa wal Marwa, I'm going to start with Marwa because woe doesn't show that I have to go to Safa first. Firstly, when we're doing Umrah, where do we start off with? Safa or Marwa? Safa. Right, Safa. Today I'm going to start from Marwa because Allah says in the Safa wal Marwa. Well, it doesn't show tartib. So if I say I'm going to start from Marwa and then I'm going to go to Safa, is that correct? Huh? Why not? Huh? Why? Abdu bima bada Allah bihi, and the fact that the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam started from Safa. But the fact we had to start from Safa, we didn't benefit from it using the woe. The woe did not show. Right? So it could be another example is Ahabul Kalam ila Allah Akbar. The most beloved of words to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala are four. Subhanallah walhamdulillahi wa la ilaha illallah wallahu akbar. La yadurruka bi ayyihinna badat. It does not harm you whichever one you start off with. Right? Subhanallah walhamdulillah la ilaha illallah Allahu akbar. Does this show order? Now, is it permissible to start with Allahu Akbar, for example, and La ilaha illallah? Why? Because of the word? Look at the end of the hadith. Look at the end of the hadith. لا يضرك, it does not harm you بأيهن بدأت. It does not harm you whichever one you start off with. So the hadith doesn't show tartib. Why? Because there's something at the end of the hadith that shows that there is no tartib. I can start with whichever one I want. Right. It should note it now. If it wasn't for the last part, لا يضرك, then it wouldn't show tartib. So what in general, what do we benefit from it? Huh? Al-'atf. The next one is al-fa. The Shaykh says al-fa, and he mentioned two different meanings for fa. وقد ذكر مثلا نعم. Al-'atf. The very first one is 'atf. Al-'atf. لكن that 'atf, or two things happening at the same time, with مع الترتيب. It shows that they happen with tartib. دخل محمد فعلي. Who entered first? Muhammad, and then Ali, and then Ali. Wait. اذهبا إلى فرعون إنه طغى فقولا له قولا لينا. اذهبا إلى فرعون, go to فرعون, فقولا له, and say to him. Which takes place? The saying to Fir'aun or the going to Fir'aun? The going to Fir'aun. And where do we benefit from that? فقولا, and say. فقولا. طيب. No. السببية. التعليل, يعني the reason. So fa shows, or from the other meanings of fa in the Arabic language, it shows السببية, a reason. The Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, من أكل البصل أو ثوم, whoever eats onions or garlic أو الكراثات فلا يقربن مساجدنا. Whoever eats onions and these foul smelling vegetables or type of food, let him not go near our masajid. فإن الملائكة, for verily the angels are harmed by that which harms Bani Adam. So what is the reason for not being allowed to eat basal or onions and garlic and then come to the masjid? It harms Bani Adam and it harms the angels. فَإِنَّ الْمَلَائِكَةَ, for verily the malaika, is understood. Like, اللام الجارية, the third, لا تعقيب is that, يعني it takes all that. مثلا it take, دخل محمد فعلي. It means Ali went in and then Muhammad. دخل علي فمحمد, يعني تعقيب means straight after. Order. اشتراك is that it happened, they went in together. لكن تعقيب means that لا, not same time. It means one went before the other. Straight after the other, نعم. تعقيب immediately after the other. ترتيب doesn't have to be straight after the other. مثلا دخل علي ومحمد. علي ومحمد entered. Ali could have entered at 1 o'clock, Muhammad could have entered at 2 o'clock. Like if I say دخل محمد فعلي, then it means that Muhammad came in at 1 o'clock and shortly after Ali came in. Also another example that they've mentioned is Sahara Bakrun or Sahara Ali. Ali stayed awake all night فنام عن صلاة الفجر, and he slept from Salat al-Fajr, he did not wake up. Is that fa, tartib or sababiyya? نعم, sababiyya. Sahara, he stayed awake all night. And because of that, بسبب هذا السهر فنام, he slept from Salat al-Fajr, he didn't wake up. Alam al-jara, the next is lam. Lam, and the Shaykh mentions 3 different meanings, I believe, sir. 3 different meanings. The first that the Shaykh mentions, rahimahullah, is التعليل, السببية, يعني the reason. And the example is وأنزلنا إليك الذكر لتبين للناس. We have revealed to you the revelation لتبين للناس, that you clarify to the people. لتبين للناس. Is that understood? أحببتك لإيمانك. I love you لإيمانك, أي بسبب إيمانك, because of your iman. Right? So that is ta'lim, a reason. At-tamlik is the next one. At-tamlik is the next one. That is the example that we wrote on the board. Or that I wrote on the board, sorry. That I wrote on the board. Why shouldn't I say that we wrote on the board? Huh? Which is better, that I say that we wrote on the board or that I wrote on the board? Huh? If I say we wrote on the board or we studied, meaning we all studied and we wrote on the board, that can be majaz, which is what we're going to study next week. Like if I say we wrote and I met myself, ta'zeemul nafs, that's not good, yani, to glorify, honor myself as if we. And that's not, these are things that a student of knowledge should stay away from. We, yeah, sometimes you hear that we have heard of, or some people put it on their status, we've heard, it has come to us. These sort of words, the student of knowledge should stay away from, because it can put kibir in your heart. Do you mean we wrote on the board? I wrote on the board, I was standing up. Who is we, who am I, to say we wrote on the board? In general, a student of knowledge should look after these wordings, the wordings that are coming out of his mouth, in order to not come across as if he is haughty and he is kibir and he has ego, a big ego, and he is the person of knowledge and status and so on. Because the talib, the best that he could be is a miskin. Same with the alim. And a tawadu', man tawada'a lillah, rafa'ahu Allah. Whoever has tawadu', then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will elevate him. Elevate him not amongst the people in general, but even amongst, in secret. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can honor him. Like, for the person to use these words, whether it's on social media and so on, it's not befitting. طيب. تمليك. نعم. So هذا القلم لعلي. This قلم belongs to Ali. هذا البيت له. This house is for him. يعني it belongs to him. The third is al-ibaha. The third is al-ibaha, meaning something that is permissible. يعني مثلا Abdillah says to me, I want to leave the class early. لك أن تذهب. Abdullah says to me, Ustad, I want to leave the class half an hour early. I say, لك أن تذهب. مباح يعني يباح لك أن تذهب. يباح لك. مثلا للرجل أن يتزوج بأربع. للرجل is يعني يبقى مباح للرجل for the man أن يتزوج بأربع. طيب. نعم. The fourth is على الجارة. وتدل على معاني. على has different معاني as well. لكن from them is الوجوب. وعلى الله على الناس حج البيت. كتب عليكم الصيام. So على it shows وجوب. طيب. But it also shows back, the Shaykh says الاستواء على العرش جل وعلا. So الاستعلاء shows that highness. طيب. الرحمن على العرش استوى. لكن with all of these huruf, how do we know the difference between which one to use in what scenario? Whether it's ta'liliyya, whether it's ta'qib, whether it's ishtiraq, whether it is sababiyya, tamliq, siyaq. The context. And this is very important for the student knowledge, especially the usul, the person who studied usul al-fiqh, and the person who's involved in fiqh. The siyaq, and wallah in general, knowledge in general, ilm of sharia, whoever's involved in it, he has to understand the siyaq, the context, that a word is being said, or that words are being said. And the context makes a big difference. The context makes a big difference. مثلا Abdullah says to me, if Abdullah says to me, مثلا, Ustad, I'm going to leave half an hour early. And I say, عادي, لك أن تذهب. Permissible, it's okay for you to go. لكن a student comes in 45 minutes late, and he says to me, can I go? And I say, لك أن تذهب. The siyaq, the context that I said to Abdullah he can go, and the context that I said to that person he could go, are they the same? No, because Abdullah was a person who came early and he's diligent and so on, and I gave him permission. Like in that individual, I just wanted to see the end of him. Right. So والحروف بأنواعها لا يدل على عموم ولا خصوص ولا إطلاق. The huruf as on its own, they don't show generality, and they don't show that something is unrestricted. طيب. أقسام الكلام. The next chapter, أقسام الكلام. ينقسم الكلام باعتبار إمكان وصفه بالصدق وعدمه إلى قسمين: خبر وإنشاء. In summary, this next chapter, الكلام الكلام باعتبار آخر. From another angle, the Sheikh says that it splits into two. What's the first one? Al-Khabar. And the second one is what? Al-Insha. Al-Insha. Just so you have an overview, Al-Khabar is that which I can say to you, yes, you're telling the truth, or you're not telling the truth. Abdullah says to me, دخل السعيد, or دخل محمد. Abdullah says to me, Muhammad has come in. I can say to Abdullah, you're telling the truth or you're lying, right? Why? Because that is khabar, that is news that he's given me. مثلا ذهب محمد إلى الحج. Muhammad went to Hajj. That is khabar. That is information that I am now telling you. You can believe me or you cannot believe me. You may believe me, you may not believe me. But it's okay for you to say, or linguistically it's okay for you to believe me or not believe me, because I've given you information. As for who said it and so on, that's something we're going to go into. Like in aslan, al-khabar is that which you can believe or you can disbelieve. Like in insha is that which you can't disbelieve or not. Or you can't say, I believe you or I can't believe you. Insha. For example, Abdullah, stand up. Abdullah stood up, sir. You can sit exactly. Can Abdullah, if I say to Abdullah, stand up, can you say, Wallah, you're lying, Mr. Huh? Can you say that? La, why? It's not khabar. What do you mean, lying? I just said to you, stand up. Abdullah, telling the truth is you understand. Can he say that? No. Why? Because I haven't given him information for him to believe me or disbelieve me. And disbelieve what I'm telling him. It is only he can either say, yes, I'm going to stand up, or I'm not going to stand up. Like in insha is like a talab, when I'm asking someone to do something, or I'm asking him a question. So if I say, did it rain today? Lie, you're a liar. What do you mean you're a liar? I said to you, did it rain today? So that's the difference between khabar and what? Insha. That's what we're going to... That's... I'm holding the mic with the pen like that. So that is the i'tibar that we're going to, the Shaykh rahimahullah, he divided the kalam into khabar and insha. Khabar and insha. And the difference is, one of them I'm able to say بالصدق أو الكذب. I can believe or disbelieve it. لكن the other I can't. نعم. The Shaykh says فالخبر ما يمكن أن يوصف بالصدق أو الكذب لذاته. So the Shaykh says rahimahullah, al-khabar is that which yusaf, or you can describe it as بالصدق, to be truthful, or al-kadhib, or to be a lie, لذاته, in of itself. When you look at the khabar itself. Like, what does that exclude? لذاته. For example, the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the words of the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. That is khabar, right? Can we say it's يحتمل الصدق والكذب? لا, we can't. Why? Because these are the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and these are the words of the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. There's no way that it could be a kadhib. There's no way that it could be a kadhib. Also, the second type, so the first type is that which it's not possible to call it sidq or kadhib. It can only be sidq. You can't say, or you can't describe it to be kadhib, afwan. You can only describe it to be as-sidq. ما لا يمكن وصفه بالكذب. It's not possible to disbelieve in it. The second is ما لا يمكن وصفه بالصدق إما شرعا وإما عقلا. The second type is that type which is not permissible, it is not possible to call it truth, to say it is the truth. Either شرعا, according to the sharia, or عقلا, or according to the aql. So for شرعا مثلا, that there's a prophet that comes after Muhammad صلى الله عليه وسلم. ما كان محمد أبا أحد من الرجال ولكن رسول الله هو خاتم النبيين. Allah Jalla wa Ala described Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam to be the last prophet. So if a person claims to be a prophet after the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, that is a khabar. Lakin do we believe it? Is it possible to believe it? La. It is not possible to believe it. Also aqlan, when someone tells you a khabar that is not possible, something that is not possible, it's not possible. For example, this room is bigger than this whole center. That's khabar. Lakin, is it possible to believe that? Aqlan is not possible. The second or the third, ما يمكن وصفه بالصدق والكذب. The third type is that which is permissible to describe it to be truthful or to be a lie. And that is what is meant. That is what is meant. For example, it is raining, or Muhammad came, or Muhammad went, right? Or I'm traveling next week, or I traveled last week. So all of that is what? Khabar that I can believe, or I may not believe. And it depends on, obviously, the person. Like if a person who is thiqa, trustworthy, gives you khabar, although you're not 100% sure, lakin, more often than not, you're about 90% sure that that is true. That is the truth. Or he has spoken the truth. Lakin if a person is known for lying, then regardless, whatever he says, you won't believe it. If he says to it's sunny outside, you won't believe it until you go outside and check. Because obviously he's used to lying. So that is the first type, the Shaykh says, rahimahullah, ما يمكن وصفه بالكذب أو الصدق. So the Shaykh, rahimahullah, says, فخرج بقولنا. What does it mean when he says, فخرج بقولنا? The Shaykh says it a lot. Why does he mention this? Hamza. Excellent. So when the Shaykh is giving a definition, he is now, every word in that definition, it means something, right? It includes something and it excludes something. That's what a ta'rif is. A ta'rif is what? Includes something and it includes something and it excludes something. So the Shaykh, by saying ما يمكن أن يوصف, he's giving us a ta'rif. He is telling us everything that comes out of that ta'rif, that he excludes. So he says فخرج بقولنا ما يمكن أن يوصف بالصدق والكذب. خرج بقولنا, and when I give this definition, the Shaykh says what it's possible to say is the truth or not, and insha. What does it exclude? if I say it's possible to say it's the truth or it's not the truth, it excludes al-insha, the second type. So if I said Abdullah stand up, or Muhammad stand up, is that khabar? لا, it is not khabar. Why is that? The Shaykh says لأنه لا يمكن في ذلك لأنه لا يمكن في ذلك, because it's not possible to disbelieve in or to believe in some telling some فإن مدلوله, because what it shows, that's what the Shaykh is saying. وخرج بقول, طيب, the Shaykh says رحمه الله لذاته عقلا or شرعا. مثلا there's a messenger of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. شرعا, that's not possible. And the third type is what, brothers? That which can be sidq or kadhib. It can be true or false. It's raining outside, for example. It can be true, it can be false. نعم. He says الأول ما لا يمكن وصفه بالكذب كخبر الله ورسوله الثابت عنه. طيب, the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the messenger, you can't, that which is not possible to say it is true. كخبر عن المستحيل شرعا أو عقلا, like informing us about something that is impossible, whether it's according to the Sharia or according to the aql. فالأول, the first, which is impossible شرعا, كخبر مدعي رسالة بعد النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. The person claimed to be a prophet after Prophet Muhammad. عقل. And the second one is كخبر عن اجتماع النقيضين. Like if a person tells you two things that are the complete opposites happening at the same time. كالحركة والسكون, like moving around and standing still. Can a person stand still and move around at the same time? لا. Can a person, مثلا, can it be night and day at the same time? لا, it's not possible. In normal circumstances, can a person be happy and sad at exactly the same time? Or laugh and cry at the same time? Not laughing out, crying out of sadness and laughing out of happiness. Is that possible? In most cases, no. So these are called نقيضين. كالحركة والسكون في عين واحدة في زمن واحد, in one go, at one particular time. It is not possible for a person to be moving around and standing still. والثالث, and the third is ما يمكن أن يوصف بالصدق والكذب إما على السواء. The third type is that which you can say is true or is not true. إما على السواء, maybe it's exactly the same. You can say it's true or not. You don't know. For example, you wake up in the morning and someone knocks on your door and says it is raining outside. Living in London, it can be raining outside and it may not be raining outside. So it's equal. So, طيب. أو مع رجحان أحدهما. Or مع رجحان أحدهما. Or one of them, you're inclined to believe in one more. You're inclined to believe in one more. For example, if a person wakes up, or if يعني مثلا it's all day it's been sunny, صح? So a person sleeps about 6 p.m. for about an hour, and then someone wakes him up at 7 o'clock and says it is warm outside, or it is not raining outside. He's going to have tarjih of what? He's going to be more inclined to believe in that one, yes or no? Nah, why? Because earlier on it was what? It was warm all day. So for it to be warm now, it's not something which is far-fetched. That understood. طيب. نعم. أو كإخبار شخص عن قدوم غائب ونحوه. Like when you inform someone that عن قدوم غائب, so a person that is away comes, a person that was traveling has come back. I say to you, مثلا, Muhammad has been traveling for the last 2 months, lakin he's now back. You may believe me, you may not believe me. Lakin it depends if Muhammad has been, if he's been traveling and you know that he was going to come in the next 3-4 days, then more often than not, you're going to believe me. Lakin that is khabar at the end of the day. Is that understood? والثاني, the second one is al-insha. So what is the first type of khabar? What is the first type of kalam in terms of believing and not? Khabar. Khabar. And khabar is what? That which you can believe or you can disbelieve it. صح? طيب. والثاني, the second, al-insha. Al-insha is what? ما لا يمكن أن يوصف sidqi or kadhib. It is that which is not possible to say you're lying or you're telling the truth. وَمِنْهُ, and from it is al-amr, a command. When you're commanding a person to stand up, for example, he can't turn around and say, you're lying, or lying to the truth. Allah tells us, the verse that we read, it is not possible for you to say it is sin. Now, also, we're going to delay next week, inshallah, and then next week also we're going to start on al-haqiqa wal-majaz. Wallahu ta'ala a'lam wa ahkamu.